Yo, what is going on, guys? We are back today for the final installment. Well, we still have another part, the season rewards opening, which I already did before recording this, and you guys are not going to want to miss that. Trust me. But yeah, the actual last war for season 18, my first time back up in the high tier, really high tier alliance war with For Loki. And man, it's been one hell of a journey. It's crazy. It went by so fast. But it was so much fun. I had such a great time, and we're in our final war against NY, which is actually the first war that I wasn't here for in For Loki. That was their first opponent. So kind of feel like I get to make up for missing that match here. It's kind of the way I was looking at it. So we don't have that many fights today, but yeah, I am currently still only at 3 deaths for the entire season, and they were all in that one war. So I want to finish with just those 3 deaths. That'll like tie my all-time best record, and the war map's much harder now anyway, so it's even more of an achievement now than it was. So yeah, if I can at least just tie that record, I'll be happy. And right up here, we actually have Leo Tallies, one of my old alliance mates in Omni. I was actually watching some of my old war videos, and he was featured in one of them. He soloed a Thing boss with Void on like a critical war. So it's good to see him again. I haven't seen this dude in a long time. So yeah, I got a rank 3 Havoc up first here. I fought a Havoc. I've been fighting Havocs here with Omega before, and they've all gone pretty well. This was probably the sketchiest one. I never really got the charges on me, but here he was throwing his L1, which is not what I wanted, but I can evade it, no problem. I just don't want him to throw it, because then I get the feedback stuff on me, which is good and bad, because I'm healing through willpower. So I'm trying to bait out these heavies just to slow that down. Hitting all my parries pretty well, like always. The re-parries, they're on point. And yeah, things are going pretty well here. And at this point, I make a mistake, but I just wanted to get out of this fight. So I think I just go for a full 5-hit combo, because I didn't have spores. I wanted to get my spores back on, so I just go for a full combo here, because I just want to kill him. I took some damage there that probably wasn't the best play, but I just wanted to get out of that fight. I didn't want those spores, or not spores, but the stuff Havoc puts on you. I didn't want that to I can't. I don't play Havoc enough to remember all of his terminology. I didn't want those to explode on me and take a bunch of direct damage, okay? So yeah, that's why I just wanted to get out of that fight, because that was a rank 3 Havoc. I had no idea how much damage that would have dealt if they got to 10. I just want to get out of there. Now we move on to section 2, and I got a couple of fights here. So we brought Omega Red per usual, and then I was assigned Magic for a Symbiote Supreme fight with Flo, but I was like, can I just bring Torch, pop an invulnerability boost, and it'll be easy. They're like, yeah, sure. I'm like, all right. So we got Invisible Woman up here first. Super easy fight. After fighting her so much in the Abyss, she's easy now. I love the Abyss, man. It just made me such a better player against so many fights. So yeah, Invisible Woman's pretty easy now for me. Not worried at all. Sometimes I just block her specials. It's better than getting hit. Sometimes I go for the evade. But yeah, now the limited immunity is worn off. I can now parry, apply my degen. This is the only part of the fight you gotta be careful about. She's invisible, so I'm just gonna parry, tap her once, and then back off. And yeah, that's all there is to it. Finish the fight with 99%. Healed up with some of her debuffs. And then we actually have a little cameo from Panda Man Pete, my taxi driver here. Moves up a couple of spots for me, so I can get to this Ebony Maw. And now this Ebony Maw, I was a little bit worried about. I wasn't sure if I should bring in Human Torch or Omega Red. We got no retreat. And if I was using the pre-fight with Torch, I think he would be the way to go, but I'm saving the pre-fight for the Symbiote Supreme that I gotta fight. So yeah, I just decided to go with Omega Red. We got no retreat, so gotta be a little careful about that, but hit the repairs right there. I was a little slow on that one, but it still worked out. Right there, evade is heavy without getting the no retreat on me, which is good. Trying not to double dash back. Right there, parry is special, and then dash back from it. Just again, watching the no retreat. Hitting those reparries. Everything's going pretty good. He's dropping really fast, so I wasn't really too worried. And I think I'm just going to go for it right here. Full combo, L2. He's dead. That fight went great. That was my last Omega Red fight. There's a Nick Fury up next, but Dreamin', I thought I was going to take it, but Dreamin's actually taking it with his rank 3 Corvus. So yeah, right here I take off Suicides. I'm not going to show you guys the whole thing, but yeah, just drop Suicides. Make sure I'm recording after a couple of fights this season, didn't record. And yeah, so I took off Precision as well, so that I'm not critting as much. So I won't be activating Flow as much. And then yeah, I'm also going to apply a invulnerability boost. And this fight should just be a piece of cake. It really should just be a piece of cake. As long as I don't get hit and lose my indestructible charges, this fight should be pretty easy. So I'm going to jump in and just do my 3-hit combos with Human Torch. And yeah, you'll notice my crit rate is pretty low. I don't think I've even crit yet, which is great. Take a couple of blocked hits to build some more smolders. There's my first crit right there. Drop a little heavy attack. And everything is going good, man. He's already dropping like a fly at this point. I decided to just go for this special 2. Why not? I just go for a full 5 combo to do as much damage as I can because he's at a special 3. Take the special 3, take no damage, and he's just gonna die after this because of all my power stings on him. Just watch, he's just gonna drop. 3, 2, 1, boom, dead. Super simple fight. Didn't have that many hard fights this war. And I was just back up for some mini bosses, but the boys didn't need it. So yeah, that's it for the final war gameplay. And now we're actually gonna go take a look at the stats, and then we're gonna have Taters hop on call, and we're gonna talk about my performance for the season, for Loki's performance, our placement, and then maybe talk a little bit about the next war season as well. So yeah, I'll be back in a little bit. All right, guys. So we ended up winning the final war of the season against NY. We had 13 deaths. They had 76. I don't think they really were trying in this last war here. Yeah, so that in total, that brings us to 9 war wins and 3 losses for the season. They were to New Nation and Kenobi twice. So yeah, every other alliance out of the top 3 that we faced, we beat, which is cool. And for the season, we placed first, technically 4th. And yeah, the season rewards video will be coming soon. Be on the lookout for it. It is really, really good. It is insane how good it is. But now we're gonna get Taters on call and just chat about my season, the future of war, for Loki season, all that good stuff. All right, what's up, guys? So we're back now to talk about the stats for the end of the war of season 18, and got a little special guest here, Taters, my battle group leader, with me. What's up, man?
What's up, dude?
So yeah, this guy pretty much does the defense. You know, he was in that video. He gives me all my fights for every war, and it was a great season. You were really helpful, like just like helping me throughout the season with all my fights. I appreciate it, man.
Yeah, well, I'm glad, man. I'm glad you feel that way, and you crushed it. So we knew that you would, but
Thanks, dude.
yeah, lived up to it for sure.
So yeah, like how do you think my stats were for this season? So we had 54 kills, 3 deaths total.
Yep. You had an awesome season. The main things that I look at trying to, I guess, judge, somebody's season is I'll look at fight volume, solo rate, and then a stat that I assume that we'll get into a little bit more, the TDR per fight, which is true difficulty rating per fight.
Yeah.
Just to see how hard your fights were.
Right.
And you were top 10 in, I believe, solo rate and TDR per fight.
Okay,
and,
nice.
Yeah, you had 54 fights. You didn't have as many fights as some other people. You did miss that first war. And BG3 is pretty stacked, so
Dreamin' gets a lot of fights.
He does get a lot of fights, so that number will increase pretty dramatically for you next season. But you had an awesome season, man.
Sweet. So yeah, every time I try to explain these stats, I get a little confused. So if you want to, let's start with the TDR.
Sure. So the TDR is true difficulty rating, and the TDR is a cumulative stat. So over the course of the season, it's going to continuously go up. It's never going to go backwards. Right. And ultimately what that is, and I hope that this doesn't get too confusing, but the power ratings algorithm or the system that we use, it has a what we call an ADR bonus and ADR penalty. So ADR stands for adjusted difficulty rating, and that is a number that's assigned to a node based on how many times 4Loki as an alliance has died on that node, dating back to basically season 11, which is when we started tracking the new map.
Okay.
So an example is the boss node, and I know that you've mentioned this in some of your war videos, but the boss node is going to award an ADR bonus of 2 points if you solo it. That 2 points is going to be attributed to your cumulative TDR, so your true difficulty rating. So even if you don't solo it and you don't earn those points, you do still get those 2 points added to your true difficulty rating, so that at a glance, at any point in the season, we can kind of see which of our members have had the biggest workload, and the combination of the hardest fights and stuff like that. So that's what TDR is. If you were to go into a boss fight and not solo it and then go back in a second time, TDR is only going to give you those 2 points once for facing that fight once, even if you entered that fight twice, if that makes sense.
Yeah. Dreamin came up with that, right?
He did, yeah. Yeah, so it used to be something slightly different. We made an alteration based on his suggestion, and we had to change the name. It was previously just called kill rating, so but it was a good suggestion. He was correct, and now I think that it's as accurate as it's been.
Yeah. And then SR bonus, that one's pretty simple. That's just your solo rate bonus.
Yeah, correct. So the solo rate bonus, the core component of how that's calculated is what percent above or below the alliance average solo rate you are on the season. So like this season, the alliance average was just a hair under 90% solo rate, and your solo rate was just a hair under 95%, which is excellent. So you're going to get a positive solo rate bonus, and then that bonus is going to be multiplied by your true difficulty rating. So a person like Dreamin, for example, he had slightly easier fights on average than you did, but because he took a lot more fights, his total true difficulty rating was a lot higher, and because he had the maximum solo rate bonus since he never died, his solo rate bonus really fluffed up his overall power rating, basically.
Right. And then the power rating, how is that calculated?
Yeah, so it's pretty complicated. There's a lot of different variables, but basically it's going to be your true difficulty rating mixed in with your solo rate bonus. Like, if you don't die, then they
just added together, right?
Yeah, you just stack them together. Now, most people are going to die, and if they do, then they're going to get credit for entering that fight twice when it comes to their total power rating. Like, if you were to take a boss and you solo it, it's 2 points. If you die to it, the penalty is minus 0.58 points, minus basically 0.6 points. So if you go 1-on-1 on a boss node, you still have a net positive of 1.4 power rating, even though it'll negatively affect your solo rate bonus and stuff like that. So it's kind of complex, but the whole idea of it is to assign a grand number based on the total amount of fights that you took, mixed in with your solo rate, mixed in with the difficulty of your fights, and it's going to come up with a number, and it's, kind of how we celebrate quote-unquote great seasons and stuff like that, just so people can kind of compete that way.
Yeah. And then, so the last stat we have is the TDR per fight.
Right. Yeah, so this one's pretty simple. It's basically true difficulty rating divided by fights, fights taken. So that doesn't mean every fight entered, because if you die to a fight, then you're going to enter it twice. But you took that fight, quote unquote, only once because you're assigned it once. So So that's what it is. And again, it's really just we can see how difficult on average your fights were. So the hardest paths on this, the current map that is going to change here going into next season, but would be Path 4 in Section 1. Those fights award a lot of points.
Yeah.
And then obviously boss and different mini boss fights are going to award some of the highest points. So 1.2 is the average basically. 1.25 is hard. 1.3 is very hard. And then there are, it can go all the way down to like 1.1 generally is the lowest that we would see. And that would be considered like the easiest possible fights that you could take.
Yeah. So like my stats, they started pretty low, and then you could see where they started to get higher because I took Path 4, and then the boss.
Kind of, yep. Yeah, exactly. So it's kind of funny. In BG3, generally speaking, because we have really good players there, and everybody's roles are kind of defined, and we know what their strengths and weaknesses are. Usually, new players in BG3. We're going to try to ease them in as much as possible. Even if we know that they're really skilled like you, we want to make sure that we get them in rhythm before we start giving them the big stuff.
Yeah.
So you can kind of see, I'm not sure exactly what war it was. I think it looks like it was war maybe 4 or war 5 when it really started to ramp up for you. And at that point, it never went backwards because we wanted to make sure that we were utilizing your skills.
Yeah. Then you start giving me bosses.
That's right. Yeah. And you were whipping those bosses. I feel bad about that mojo, that first mojo with Torch, just because I'm not sure that we set you up as well as we should have. But
that was just a bad war on my part, man.
Well, those were some tough fights. So,
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I mean, you crushed it, dude.
Thanks, man. Yeah, I had a lot of fun. I really love the whole power rating system. But now that's kind of going to get screwed up. So
yeah,
we have the new season coming. And so how's that going to work? Like, are we going to have to find like the new values for the new nodes and stuff?
Yeah, we are. So this happened back between season 10 and 11 when they changed the map. And we started power ratings. The first season was season 5. So seasons 5 through 10, we had the power rating values for each node on the old map.
Mm-hmm.
And then heading into season 11, basically what we did was we tracked we basically did the same war tracking that we do during a regular season in the last week of that off season, heading into season 11.
Okay.
Those values going into season 11. Now, the thing about power rating is every single war, the values are going to be updated. So if if every battle group goes, solos the boss, so we go 3-0 as an alliance on the boss node, then the overall value for that node is going to drop minutely. It's by decimals because we are using so many wars of data, but it will drop a little bit. So it'll kind of be an evolving thing throughout season 19, but by the end of season 19, heading into season 20, we should have pretty stern values that are going to be, they'll change, of course, but they'll start to change less and less every single war.
Yeah. Next season's going to be an interesting one.
Yeah.
So we got a new map, new nodes. So that'll just be interesting what they put in war. New path identities. I think that means certain paths are gonna be like more power control lanes or like an unstoppable path. I think that's what that's for. Updated season rewards. Looking forward to that.
Oh man, I cannot wait for that.
Updates to matchmaking. Hopefully we don't get Kenobi 3 times in a season.
Yeah, hopefully not.
Yeah. New defense tactics. That's going to be interesting. And attacker tactics. I'm really excited to see the attacker tactics coming.
Yep.
Because with flow, I'm at, like, if magic also benefited from that, that'd be pretty crazy.
Yeah, and Ghost. I mean, I'm just thinking like magic.
Yeah, Ghost. Oh, I didn't even think of her. Yeah.
Yeah, if Ghost gets a bunch of bonuses on attack, oh my God, they're gonna see some crazy stuff.
Pizza.
You'll finally get to use your Ghost.
Yeah, I didn't use her at all.
I know.
First time. So yeah, it's a 3 week off season. Do you think they're gonna start the new map in the off season? I said I don't see that here yet.
Yeah. So back in season 11, I am almost certain, I'm not like 100%, but I'm pretty sure that they gave us, no, in fact, I am certain. So they gave us the last week of that off season. That was a 4 week off season, I think.
Mm-hmm.
They gave us the last week of that off season with the new map, and that's actually how we came up with the values for the new power ratings heading into season 11. So I would imagine that they're going to give us at least 1 week, and it'll probably be that third week.
Yeah.
Just to get an idea for it. I don't see any other way that they could do that. They're not going to send us in with new tactics to have to deal with when it actually counts. I don't think.
Yeah. Hopefully we see that. So it starts July 7th. So do you
Yeah.
know when it's gonna end? How long it usually is?
What the season?
Yeah.
Yeah, the seasons are going to be 4 weeks. So there are 3 wars, each lasting 2 days, a placement day, and then an attack day. And then you've got that seventh day of each week where you don't have to do anything.
Right.
So yeah, it'll run through the first week of August, I think.
Okay. Yeah. So I told you I'm gonna be at the lake for that last week.
Yep.
So that'll be an interesting one for the season.
Yeah, we're gonna have to get a lot of people some reps to make sure that we're not clueless when it comes to that final week, and we need somebody to solo boss for us.
Yeah. We'll figure it out.
We will, yeah.
But yeah, guys, this series was just phenomenal. I got a lot of support. It was just really great, and I'm gonna be staying in for Loki. We're gonna keep this series going, and we got everything's gonna be new for the next one. So it's gonna be kind of like an even playing field now for all of us up in the war high tier bracket going in blind. So it's gonna be pretty interesting. And Taters also has a channel. He uploads all his wars. A link to his channel will be in the description below. He's a really good dude, really smart tactically. He's pretty skilled too. I think you get in your head a little bit before some boss fights, but
I'm sure I do, absolutely.
Yeah, Maddie, thank you for hopping on, talking about the stats and everything. Appreciate that.
Absolutely, dude. Thanks a bunch. And yeah, pumped for next season, man. It's going to be fun.
Yeah, and oh yeah, also, are you down to do the defensive tier list?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Alright.
You're talking about for champs, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's tough. I've actually in the past I've started like spreadsheet projects trying to come up with like an algorithm that incorporates a bunch of different defensive utilities or something like that, so that I could have like more of a refined idea of who's actually the best. But that's way too hard. So yeah, absolutely opinion based. But I think that would be a lot of fun, and I've definitely got opinions on it.
All right, sounds good, dude. I'm looking forward to that. But
All right, I
yeah,
appreciate it.
that's going to do it for this video, guys. Again, thanks to Taters. This was a great season, and be on the lookout for the season rewards. It's pretty good. But that's going to do it. Thank you so much for watching. Peace out.